apparently there's this trend right now of this fashion designer. New trend alert. This fashion designer has created when one of these guys is supposed to be the designer. He's created skirts for guys. So this is an Atlanta thing. And it's just, I don't know why it's all over Facebook, but it is, right? So apparently this is the new thing.
We got iCash skirt.
Cash skirts.
Black hat threes.
Alright, we go with iCash polo, iCash lace skirt on the bottoms, and we go ARD drawers.
What y'all think about that?
We got iCash skirt. Little tight.
iCash apparently is the brand, and they have skirts for men.
Skirt on the bottoms, and we go ARD drawers.
Bro, what are we doing out here? No. This is why I'm pivoting from doing Purple Pill 100%. Because as much as I'm trying to, hey, men, right? We are trying to take back ownership of, leadership of being in the position that we're supposed to be and taking care of women and children, of being protectors, right? I hate to use this phrase. This generation just isn't ready to hear that. They don't care about that. I think that they're so far to the left, to the right, whichever one you want to say, they are not ready. They don't care. They don't want to hear that. This is not okay. No, this is not okay. This is not okay. There's different theories as to why this is happening. Why this is kind of being accepted. Why we went through, the skinny jeans thing. Okay, skinny jeans. That never was my thing. Again, to me, women wear tight clothes. Men, we wear fitted clothes. There's a difference between fitted and tight, right? Fits your contour, but it's still loose and breathable. Like women are the ones that squeeze into stuff. It's always been that way. For me, it's going to stay that way, right? Okay, the skinny jeans, never was into the skinny jeans. Don't have anything. I don't even like slim fit. They try to get me in like slim fit suits. Just my body isn't built for that. One, and I don't like tight clothes. I'm just a 90s baby. There are some theories as to why this is okay or why we have young men expressing themselves this way. Part of it is because they're saying they were raised by single mothers. I don't know that to be true. Again, I'm just putting out what's the narrative on social media and in, peer groups, in groups in general. It's because they were raised by single mothers. Again, this is one of the stereotypes about black men specifically, is that, they're not present. I don't agree with this, and I hope this is just something that this guy is trying and seeing if it takes hold. I'm hoping it doesn't. But again, I'm not in, the Gen Z. I don't think this is Gen Alpha, right? This might be Gen Z. I think this might be Gen Z. I think the Gen Zers are they're focused on different things. And so it's going to be hard to balance dating. And as much as I hate women who are masculine and who have masculine tendencies and act like men, I understand. I understand. I get it. I get it because, you may be flooded with examples like that. You may be flooded with not, necessarily men who are wearing skirts, but just men who aren't to the level of your fathers, your grandfathers. I get it. My only issue with the masculine woman and why I have such an issue with it is because I understand if you're being that way because what you have been around, what you've been accustomed to, they may not have been as responsible, as honorable, as masculine as you want them to be to put you in your femininity. That's another phrase I hate hearing. I understand that. However, there doesn't seem to be a switch that changes as quick as you can switch to being, I got to be the man and make all the decisions. As quick as you can switch to that, why can't you switch that off when you come across somebody who's just like, okay, like he's built from a different cloth, built from a different fabric, if you will. That's my only issue. And so that's why I always say that's my biggest pet peeve. That's my biggest turnoff is that a woman who is masculine, because I'm not going toe to toe with you. Like we're not doing that. We're not even getting close to doing that. So if you want to be that way, cool. I'm not going to argue with you. I only argue with dudes. And most of the time I don't even do that because it's not 9 times out of 10, it's not even worth it about something we're arguing about. Right. But that's the newest trend. Atlanta men going viral after being seen wearing skirts. I hope this is something that doesn't pick up. Again, I'm not in the fashion of the Gen Zers. I'm not into I wear Asics, but I wear Asics to run to the store, to work out. Asics became actually Jordans. People were wearing those as stylistic shoes. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. Like I said, skinny jeans was too much for me. Y'all know when I get dressed up, I like to put on suits. And so I think a suit is 180 degrees from wearing a skirt. Where are their fathers at? At what point as a parent do you see your children doing something and you step in and stop that, right? Whether that's, for example, whether it's a young boy and he has a Barbie doll in his hand, whether it's a young lady and she's playing with dump trucks and, excavators and moving dirt and stuff like that. Maybe even in the teenage years. At what point as a parent do you step in and say, nah, you're not doing that. You can't. No, I won't let you do that. What happened to the as long as you live in my house type parents? So Gen Z would be my children. We came from the getting our asses whooped. If you're going to live in my house, you're going to eat what I cook. If you're going to live in my house, you're going to follow my rules, right? And even though when we left our parents' homes, we wild out, right? I think that's every child who's experienced in the world. We wild out. But a lot of those disciplines stuck with us, right? We still have those within us. For the majority. Even though we didn't like those rules, we understood them because we saw, we might have envied kids who didn't have, they didn't have to be in when the street lights came on, or they didn't have the rules that we had. It wasn't, we looked at that as being, well, damn, man, my parents suck because I got rules to follow. But then after we got older, we understood okay, we understood what was going on. We get it. We understand now. A child doesn't want rules, but we get it now. Even though we may not follow everything our parents did and taught us, we still have a baseline to go off of. Very rarely do you just man, forsake everything that my mom and dad taught me. I'm going to do everything the way that I want to do it. Rarely does that happen. Rarely does that happen. I mean, with my generation, I don't see that happening a lot. But my generation are the parents of Gen Z, and I just don't understand where is the disconnect. Boomers. Boomers kick ass and take names, right? They were the ones hitting us with shoes, extension cords, all of that type of stuff. We were bad. Gen Xers, we ask why. I ain't doing that. I don't want to do that. Rules, right? So they go off. Because boomers follow rules. They say do this, a boomer is going to do that, and that's it. So they expected that out of us, but we were rebellious. So we definitely, once we left home, we was like, man, screw all those rules. I'm doing what I want to do. But then you realize you still have some of those rules implanted in you because you understand the world needs rules. I don't see how far the disconnect is gone between us who received those rules and now us who are giving those rules. I don't see it. I don't see it. So I'm like, was my generation that absent? The men who are in their 30s and 40s who have teenagers, as a whole, were we that absent? Were we that not involved? Or is our involvement that lacking in influencing the next generation? When I see stuff like this, that's the only thing I can think about is it has to be. I hate to blame women for this. But if you a woman can't teach a man how to be a man. So that's why we automatically blame the single mom for this. And it's not fair because it's just not fair, right? It's just not fair. But that's automatically what we're going to go to. Where his daddy at? You know what I'm saying? Like where? Because we think that that's the reason. Like if a man was there, he'd be like, hell to the no, no. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.